Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Shipyards. I'm Commander Exorcist. Welcome to another episode of the After Action Report, my weekly show where I go over the news and highlights happening in the Space Engineers universe. Before we get started, if you enjoy the content I create on this channel, then be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure that notifications are turned on so that you don't miss any of my Space Engineers content. Let's see what's going on out there. It's a bumper news week with the June edition of the Space Engineers newsletter hitting inboxes on Wednesday. In the newsletter, quite a few of the questions were answered about how the Smelter block would function in relation to the crafting and production system in Space Engineers 2. According to Merrick, players in the early stages of SE2 survival will craft simple components from mined ore via the Engineer's backpack. This will allow a player to go straight from mining resources to constructing basic components, and explains why the backpack in SE2 is much larger than its predecessor. So, where does the recently introduced Smelter fit? Well, the Smelter is essentially an advanced version of the backpack in that it can refine select raw materials into simple components for use in the assembler and the gear forge. Currently, the plan for the new production system is a multi-step process. The player mines resources, and those resources are processed by the backpack, smelter, or the classic refinery. Depending on what materials are refined and what methods are utilized, the resulting simple components are passed to the assembler or the gear forge to create complex components. In turn, these complex components can then be passed to the fabricator to make high-tech components. Scattered among all of this new information was the first look at a new block, the Gear Forge. This is a specialized block designed for manufacturing character-related personal items. The raw materials required to run the Gear Forge is contingent on the technology level of the items being crafted. My hope is that this block will provide us with an endless supply of rifles, rocket launchers, and cans of cosmic coffee. The production chain design in Space Engineers 2 is already shaping up to be much different from its predecessor. In some ways, it begins simpler than Space Engineers, but becomes more complex as time goes on. The new blocks and backpack refining functions give engineers a variety of ways to build their production lines. Of course, all of this will be entirely moddable, so complexity will only be in the eye of the engineer. In addition to learning more about the production chain for SE2, we were also treated to a sneak peek at food preparation blocks for the upcoming Space Engineers 1.207 survival update. While last month's newsletter showcased blocks for growing food, the newly revealed food processor is a small factory which allows an engineer to prepare meals from food grown or gathered. According to the info from Space Engineers designer Ryan Keel, the food processor will allow us to create a wide variety of ration packs. My guess is that we'll see a mixture of protein packs, vegetables, fruit, or other synthetic mixes to satiate our player as they struggle to survive in hostile alien environments. This isn't RimWorld, so don't expect engineer meat to be on the table without mods. The sheer volume of information given to us in this newsletter probably explains why there wasn't a dev blog released this week. So, which side of the development world are you most excited for? Are you looking forward to getting your hands on the Smelter and tempting the hands of fate against Clang with the Fabricator? Or are you still in classic mode, waiting anxiously on update 1.207 to bring food and famine to Space Engineers survival? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be back next week with more Space Engineers. Until then, I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.